Again, I must say you look a bit pale. Did you have trouble sleeping last night?
A little.
Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absolve yourself of such troubles. So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I give you some time to rack your brain for a topic to discuss before I ask any questions? Although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on distracting me?
Us? Distract you?
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. If you don't have any other plans, why don't you Don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any scheming children.
The ocean breeze is sure nice today.
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia. Good things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide to tag along. If only for your friends' sakes.
What should we do? She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch. Oh, good idea. Hopefully he sees. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what... Okay, then we probably...
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by good companions is necessary for a child's development.
You're not planning on doing anything to them, are you?
I assume you're referring to Lenny, Lynette, and Fremine. Although, there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. It appears quite a few people have been acting out lately. No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate. There are no exceptions.
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of the house change for no one. In my organization, everyone is responsible for their own actions.
But don't you care about them at all? They really respect you. They even call you father.
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. You could say our principles are more stringent than most. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them. I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their lives. As for Filion and Toy and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our secrets, there's no getting out alive.
But that's...
Ah, you seem concerned. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Clairvy in the meantime, all evident. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable. And Of course. Oh, and here, it takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to lose it.
Wait, where did you get that?
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to. I asked you to. Well, time to go. It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette. I must say, I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency worthy of admiration.
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper level of respect. Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well. If I may inquire as to the purpose of your visit.
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal. Please review it at your leisure, Monsieur Neuvillette.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see why you would wish for such a thing.
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind. Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the glass of a certain water-tasting enthusiast.
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with tainted water.
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's strained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form.
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps you could expound on that?
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine. And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe. Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing. Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such troubles.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy. I do hope I get the chance to hear your impressions. Perhaps at our next meeting, yes?
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook your commitment in the meantime.
All right, Traveler Paimon. Time to go.
Leaving the Ministry of External.
So, what exactly were you talking about back there? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of water, and then some kind of irrigation scheme.
You really want to know? I would imagine there might be more pressing concerns at the moment.
Winnie, Paimon really hopes everything's going okay. Oh, Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your thinking cap on, don't you, Traveler?
Oh, shoot. Are you alright? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling these papers, I wasn't looking where I was going. Well, let me make it up to you at least. Here, take this paper.
Oh, you don't have to give us.
Please, I want to. It's my fault, really.
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend.
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to.
I'll take 3 papers.
Oh! If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably.
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson.
Actually, why don't we? Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation in your favor. I'm sorry. That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Claire V, are you not?
Wait, why are you?
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent.
Then what?
The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something they want. Demands and threats only get you so far. Wonderful. Here it is. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Okay, sounds normal enough. But what do you mean, when the time comes? When is that supposed to be?
That is for you to decide. Then we have a deal. Follow me.
How about we explore the area ahead of us later? What is this place?
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. No one comes here anymore. Nor does anyone care about what once happened here. It was before I became a harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they still served a purpose. They would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina probably would have listened, right?
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age, who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth.
Wait, the friend that
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Claire, even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But
Oh no.
her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Peruere weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Peruere suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down Clairvy? Clairvy never gave another. If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only precisely. Death was the... It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Peruere. The very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was from that moment on. Peruere's journey was one written in flames. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even she was unsettled. and there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps.
Crucibina, you mean?
Correct. This is the place where Peruware killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the moment she acted. Any conception of what was right or wrong, Peruware won the battle.
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Peruware.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, after I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arlecchino, but as father. And that is where the story ends.
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy...
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence... You see, of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient... Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. But what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a...
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is...
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy for a long...
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives. But other times, she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone who will listen. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, and it is this very perception that traps her there. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved.
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way? So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend!
It's too late for that. She broke the rule. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formula.
Is this really what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs. Anger makes you impulsive. Well, it appears I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I give your...
Here they are, Father.
Oh, you gonna execute him? Lenny!
I'm sorry, but I still failed. I couldn't find a...
Huh? Are you...
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh, stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first, I believe certain scores need settling.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house. And for that, you... Overall, however...
By traitor?
Father, let me explain. We didn't...
Faults.
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants, Filial, Nantoi, Sato, Toddy. Nantoi clearly said, if only Father wasn't the one who took us in. Sato added, I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a normal person. Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're lying!
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those. We're birds locked in a cage!
You little... You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you? And you, Sheplo? Have you forgotten?
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar.
We all live in the House of the Hearth. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate.
You've been spot.
Filial, Nantoy, I owe you both my life. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness, even if it cost me my life. But
Why?
That's enough, Filial. I'm sorry, Chaplot. Faults.
Chaplot, according to the rules of the house,
all those who betray the house.
and so it shall be.
Father, please wait!
Something you want to say?
Please reconsider, Father. We all come from broken families. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look. I'm not saying I have all the answers. So please, Father.
I agree with Linny.
Father, please. Linny.
I also agree with Linny.
An order once given however.
Our weapon?
Father, are you referring to a...
Precisely. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient
Impossible.
Did you hear that, Traveler? Lynn and the others have to duel the knave. What if they lose those?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye?
anger makes you impulsive.
Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no...
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior.
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the house.
What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life.
Shower me with praise! Let me scribe.
Night. Power music. With these rising flames!
Now's our chance!
Is it my turn now?
Wasn't expecting this. The stars. Who's next?
With these rising
Even stronger
flames!
than I expected. Am I still
Who's next?
weak?
Look out!
The show begins!
Is it my
Delve
turn
into
now?
destiny.
With these rising flames!
Watch out for Father's movements!
Now that's more like it.
Now's our chance!
Let my name echo in song! Hang in there!
With these rising flames! Is it my turn now?
Odious fate. Destiny cannot be
Who's
denied.
If I really have to draw my blade, then...
With the fall of darkness, destruction shall rise. Have a taste of purgatory.
And voila!
Spare your energy.
Sorry.
Over here. How brilliant!
With these rising flames.
You overestimate yourself.
Try to pace yourself.
The countdown has begun. Like a fly tangled in a web.
Power. The stars.
Wait, who's next?
And voila!
The show begins.
Spare your energy. Running is a little use.
Father's even stronger than I expected.
Look at you. Trapped like a bunch of helpless animals.
I have to draw my blade. Then...
Is it my turn now?
Watch out for Father's movements!
The countdown has begun. Spare your energy. Running is of little use. With these rising flames.
Father's even stronger than I expected.
Have a taste of purgatory.
If I really have to draw my blade, then...
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
And voila!
The show begins.
Spare your energy. Running is of...
Someone help me!
The way. My blade is all that remains.
Don't look at me.
Watch out for Father's movements! Look out!
moon have set, only ruin remains. All hope has been...
Watch out for Father's movements! Look out!
You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know.
No! I'm sorry, Father!
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
A crimson moon? I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me. I believe we can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't... Brother!
Lenny.
Given that I am the victor of this duel. As agreed.
No!
I never thought things would.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light... Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping.
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for.
Wonderful.
Bottled flame.
Indeed. They're the product of a secret once ingested. If you can withstand the pain. When you, in other words, administering this memory is a...
So, you're just letting us go?
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't intend to just let you go, because the person who survives will be nothing but a stranger.
Even so, I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry, Phil. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver.
Of course. I'll...
Dry your tears, and go proceed.
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Fultz, Elwar, I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you for all you've done for the house.
Father.
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Lemmy.
Thank you.
Clairvy.
Can we talk now? You really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't seen you in so long. How come you're all grown up? Wait, did I somehow travel to the future?
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's done speechless. Oh. Okay then. Huh? That's it? Yep. If that's what Perry says happened, then plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a harbinger now, Perry, that means Mother is gone, isn't she? Can you tell me about it?
You never stopped trying to defy. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing you over time. That way, the other children would know what happens to traitors. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. On that gloomy day, you told me, "For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die."
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down. But somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to make it until the end. And I always hoped that person would be you. If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew you'd be able to do what I couldn't.
Is that so? Even now, I'm not sure I truly understand what kind of freedom you are trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past. Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
That's more than enough. You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places.
Really? Of course! We've traveled all over the place. You know, I'm playing the lute while singing. Ah, that's where more. If I had some more, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perry, and one for Mother. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. Those yokai you mentioned. I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super scary... Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one and I was always too afraid to skip Mother's but at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts... I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want... The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime, and they were going to have to stand trial. Oh no! Don't worry. We were able to turn the situation around super quickly. All thanks to Detective Paimon, of course. How'd you do that? Come on, tell me. Okay.
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Parallel. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Clairvy. She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get to finish her story.
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures. But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost.
Father?
It's Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing back here? Let's go...
Father, the bottled flames have been administered.
And you?
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. But Lynette and Fremine feel the same way. They're recuperating back at the Hotel Bouffe d'été. But
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become... I must admit,
I just never understood what you saw in...
You're brave, talented. You would do anything to protect them.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all.
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero. Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out, I'm not deserving of that title.
You're wrong. In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction. We may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you, even without that strength.
Father.
No one knows what the future holds. If reaching a certain strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. The road ahead is not an easy one, so I'll ask.
You've done so much for me, Father. Protecting my family at all costs.
Then you're welcome to stay. Having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like at present. Our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no. As for the two of you, no matter how arduous the journey ahead,